Hello you lovely people and welcome. Today I'm going to be taking a look at ANS Media's HMS Queen Elizabeth Project Ark Royal refit. Now if you're unfamiliar with Project Ark Royal, this was presented back in May of 2023 to refit the Queen Elizabeth with 2 catapults and an angled deck plus a resting gear. This was for the use of the Vampire and Vixen drones that they have in mind to use on these carriers, as well as other manned aircraft that may be acquired to fly off the deck. Now, I thought this was quite an exciting thing back in 2023, as I thought we'd actually get a proper decent aircraft carrier and maybe some decent aircraft fly from them, but we have just acquired another batch of F-35Bs, so I'm not sure where that will take the project going forward. But anyway, as you can see, it's got 2 catapults plus the angled deck and a resting gear. And let's jump in and have a look at it in sim. Right, let's start off with the dependencies. You will need the Touching Cloud Kuznetsov aircraft carrier package to make sure that one of the catapults and the arrestor wires are usable. And you will need the Seafront Vessel Library, which is a base package that's free on the marketplace. And if you're going to be using the rear catapult, you will need Touching Cloud's kinetic assistant, and hopefully at some point they are hoping to create their own little menu to go across the bar at the top, so that you can use the aircraft carrier pretty much the same way as how Miltech do theirs, and also hopefully getting rid of the reliance on the kinetic assistant. For Xbox users, the Kuznetsov and the Seafront Vessel Library are available on the Xbox. ANS Media have applied to become a partner for the marketplace, but at the moment have not heard back. But I've spoken to them, and they've said that once a partnership has been acquired, that this will be released onto the Xbox. Obviously, I'm not sure what will happen with the rear catapult, as that is dependent on the kinetic assistant, but hopefully by then they may have something implemented. So that's dependencies over and done with. PC users, obviously this is available to you now. You can get it in a demo form, which gives you 4 locations, one of them being off the east coast here, just labelled as Marham, because that is the closest RAF base in proximity to it. But if you get the payware variant, you do end up with 12 different locations, one of them being RF Valley over here, which is nice. You can do short hops. There are, if I run down the list, so there's the English Channel, which is Marham. You've got the Persian Gulf, which is just off the east coast of Bahrain. You've got RF Valley, the Cayman Islands, Santa Barbara, Gdansk Bay, Falklands, New Zealand, Tokyo. There is also one up here at the Royal Naval Armament Depot at Coulport, which is a bit of an odd place to have it, because I have personally sailed past this. It's not a dry dock, but it's a submarine arming pen, I I believe, which is this here is the Royal Naval base coal port. And as you can see, this is where all of our Trident missiles are housed, and it's one of the most, if not the most, well, armed places on the planet. And I've actually been on this roundabout here, and the amount of troops with guns, coiled barbed wire, you name it, is insane. So to have this as a docking port for the Queen Elizabeth is a bit of an odd placement, but it's different, and obviously that dry dock / arming pen isn't actually modelled, so it's underwater. And then last but not least, you actually have a moving variant, which is this one here, off the well, smack bang in the middle of the coast, in the middle of the channel, sorry. So we do have a moving variant as well, but I'll be using the valley spot here. As you can see, when we zoom in, there is plenty of parking for helipad, and also 2 parking spots for cold and dark. And then you've obviously got your runway start there, hot starting. So I'm just going to go to parking bay 2, and we'll jump in and have a look around the actual aircraft carrier. So as you can see, it's not the brightest of days off the west coast of the UK, but that I don't mind, because that means that I can actually show you the lighting as well while we're at it. As you can see, we've got a Merlin doing circuits, just in case we need to ditch into the sea. Looks a little bit clunky, but it's a nice addition. Looking around, we have Merlins on the deck, some troops, containers with supplies as well, shipping containers over here, and we've got some starter tractors as well. As you can see, there's our meatball right there, and our flols, our main landing tower there, and then the main ship tower over there. We've got a static E2, and some more bits and pieces floating around. So there we go. And if we transition upwards a little bit, we can get into these control rooms. Still a work in progress, but you'll see as when we get into the other tower how much detail has been put into it so far. So the basing of the bridge is pretty much there. Can we go up a little bit more? And we go. We've got some more work has been done up here as well. Just as a FYI, this still is very much work in progress, but for the state that it's in at the moment, it's quite impressive. We have moving radars on both towers, and we've got sort of displays here that show various bits of information. This is what should be your vertical landing indicator to let you know if you are in the right place on the approach. If we go into the main tower, as you can see, we've got Royal Navy soldiers here, complete with Royal Navy patches, or as close approximation to it. And we've got some quite nice data boards there, and a guy furiously tapping away and nothing changing on his screen, but I don't expect too much. It's nice to have these extra people in here. And then you've got what looks like the head honcho with a big map behind with what looks like intercontinental ballistic missiles being fired. That's a bit worrying. Okay. And then we'll get on to the externals. Okay, so we've got the rear catapult here. For the moment it's just a texture. There are no moving parts for that at the moment, as that is used by Kinetic Assistant. And then we've got the ramp. And then we have here the catapult for this is the Touching Cloud Kuznetsov catapult. I don't believe there's any moving parts or anything on of that sort of description at the moment. It's just there's a couple of crew members, and then it runs off of the Kuznetsov menu sort of, which I'll show you in a second. And then we'll come on to the lighting, as I've got to bring the menu up anyway. So let's get astern. Rise up a little bit. Okay, so here's a Kuznetsov bits and pieces here. You can use the lifts. There are two. One here, actually the parking spots are on. The hangar underneath is being worked on, so that's not quite ready yet. This would be where the jet blast deflectors are activated, but there aren't any on the Queen Elizabeth. Now, if we're coming straight in the dark, we can hit, which one is it? Spotlights, dim lights. Okay, maybe I need it to be dark. Let's just change that to darkness. Let's bring the time. Okay, here we go. As you can see, the night lighting is quite impressive. Obviously we'd want to switch all of that off if you were in a wartime environment, but all lit up. We'll have a look at that again properly in a minute. So using the helipad, we can switch the runway lights so that we're coming in either by the helipad here and straight in if we're going to be doing a rolling vertical landing, and if we are using the angled deck for cable catching, that's switched just purely by hitting the helipad there. And other lighting is just already automatically implicated. So if we drop down a bit, nice reflections off the water. Okay, all nicely lit. As you can see inside, we've got that nuclear Armageddon going off in the screen in the background. You can see it's all really nicely lit. It really is. And you can see it is, I think it looks absolutely stunning in the dark. Now, the escort ships at the moment are, well, the proper ones that are going to go with the package are still being worked on. But yeah, as you can see, if we, that's the wrong menu, if we change the time back to daylight, as you can see, we have pretty much the same ships. We do have what look like bits and pieces from maybe the Miltech collection, or very similar to, and we also have a supply ship here which also has a landable helipad. We've got a submarine lurking around at the back there. So the UK carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth in Project Ark Royal form is available on Sim Market for £7 and 10p. If we go through the full description features that I may have missed out. So you get a high quality carrier model with transparent bridge windows, assortment of animations and static objects, catapults and arrestor wires for catabar operations, animated spinning radar dishes, living deck with animated crew doing an assortment of tasks, that's a work in progress, working elevators, full night lighting, switchable runway lights from angle to straight. Bridges have interiors and animated crew, which I've shown you. Assortment of landable escort ships requires free seafront library from Marketplace. Working ILS with glide slope. Flols optical landing system. Currently only the forward catapult is operational with crew. Rear catapult requires touching clouds kinetic assistant, and that's a work in progress. Animated deck crew and circling Merlin AEW. Features exclusive to Sim Market is more locations added constantly. Fully navigable hangar, work in progress. Moving carriers, work in progress. Discord role for access to daily dev builds. Custom animated persona avatar on carrier by request. Limited space, first come first serve. Like I said, the dependencies are the Touching Cloud Kuznetsov carrier package and the kinetic assistant if you're wanting to use that rear catapult, and the seafront vessel library for the landable escort ships. Frequencies, so there's frequencies for the angled deck, frequencies for the straight in approach, and frequency for offset hovering approach, and then there's a Unicom of 122.800. Planned features for own toolbar panel for controlling carrier functions, fully navigable hangar, more locations to be decided, missions and moving ships, which again is a work in progress. So like I say, that's available over at Sim Market. I actually didn't know that this package existed until Queen notified me on Discord to let me know, and I'll say that I'm very impressed by it. Like I say, it is work in progress, but for £7, if you compare that to the Flight Replicas ships that were recently released where it's just nothing at all, just yeah, plain deck, basically islands in the middle of nowhere. This one has things moving on it. It has navigation. It has plenty of parking spaces, whether you want it cold and dark or hot starting. Decent night lighting. So it's a truly multi-role aircraft carrier, in the sense that it can cover all types. Hopefully the real Queen Elizabeth will actually go ahead with the Project Ark Royal refit, although with the recent addition of more F-35s, I do feel that may have put a spanner in the works, but we'll have to wait and see. I think it would make sense to have a carrier that's got launchable catapults and obviously recovery and rest of gear. Makes it more cross-compatible with other navies, so that in need we could have extra aircraft on deck, and also for exercises and things like that, interoperability. But yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with this package, and I hope it goes ahead without any issues and progress as well. I look forward to seeing where it goes from here. So yeah, if you got this far, thank you for watching, and as always, take care. I'll catch you in the next one.